Welcome to Innovation C, Social Impact by Sustainable Programming, the sixth edition of our digital conference. For years, we have been programmed. Eat this, drink that, wear these shoes, behave that way. The marketing machines have made us believe that without consumption, we are not part of a movement. In 1976, the Eagles wrote a song. Last thing I remember, I was running for the door. I had to find the passage back to the place I was before. Relax, said the nightman. We are programmed to receive. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. That is Hotel California. This song is about materialism and access. And we are still living in that same song years after. Because as humans, we are indeed programmed to receive. That's why marketing works so well on us. We want to be part of something. We want to belong. But what if that something was for the good of mankind? What if it wasn't just about you? What if it is about us, about the world? Social impact is us together, as a society creating change for the better. Less waste, less plastic, more healthy emotional behavior, energy that doesn't drain or pollute our environment, and nutrition that actually benefits our health. What if we were made to believe that that was cooler instead of using the big truck, eating junk food, shop for fun, and discard everything for not being fun and new anymore? Today's four speakers will shine a light on exactly that. We will lift off with Richard Riedel, one of the founders of the Curaçao 311 app, an app that can help us clean our island and maintain it for the social impact it can have, programming our community to be more aware on how we dispose our trash. We'll have Green Phoenix co-founder Giacomo Booi, also known as Krillebol, independent and sustainability consultant Amber van Veghel, and as closing speaker Kris Bouwstra, CCO of Dynef Group. But he is much more than just the corporate man. Today, I will be accompanied by Stacey McDonald. As we left Luke in the basement of Innovation C today, Luke is here somewhere, but Stacey will be stealing the show. Stacey, can you come on stage and introduce yourself? Thank you everyone for being there. That was my short introduction. As I said, Luke is not gonna be here visually, so we're all a little bit extra nervous. Please introduce yourself. Welcome, Stacey. How are you doing today? Can you give
Hi,
a little bit introduction about you?
Thank you for your invitation to be your co-host tonight. I'm super excited about it. So hi everyone, my name is Stacey McDonald. I am a Curaçao born resident, well, no longer resident. I currently live in Amsterdam, but my heart is always in Curaçao. And maybe a little introduction about me and why I'm co-hosting this session. I think I presented during the second webinar, Andy?
Indeed.
Yeah, the second webinar. And I immediately fell in love with the Innovation C platform. And it kind of happened organically, but now I am a bigger part of the Innovation C team, which I'm super excited and happy about. So this is the first time I'm co-hosting, and the reason I'm co-hosting this session is because of the team, of the theme, I have to say, mostly. So social impact through sustainable programming. It's a theme that is very dear to my heart. I am an environmental psychologist myself, and I think that says enough already for this team. You know, as a psychologist, you're interested in people's minds and in their behavior and how you can change people's behavior. And the environmental part means that I'm super curious to know, how we engage with our environment in the broadest sense of the word. So how do we change behavior in a positive way? Those are questions that are kind of occupying me on a daily basis. So I'm really excited to be co-hosting this session and hearing from all the presenters we have tonight, or today, I have to say. For me, it's tonight. For Curaçao, it's this afternoon.
Yes, it's very nice to be able to communicate online like this. We get the Curaçaoans all the way in Holland. There are people from South Africa in the chat. So for everyone, it's a little bit of a different time. And
Yeah.
I saw more people from different countries wanted to join Holland, America. So it's a lot of fun. Before we're going to continue, I'm going to do the same thing as Luke always does. I'm waiting for everyone to come inside the chat so we can have a moment of really connecting with each other. I would like for you all to turn off the noise of your phone, close the door, put your phone to the side, whatever you prefer. And zone in for just a quick second, because we're going to have 4 speakers that really made the effort to create a presentation for you. We have 3 team members that really made an effort to make this webinar digital conference available for you, and a team of 15 volunteers that really made an effort to promote the event. And I want to make sure that we all take a moment there. If you think about sustainable programming, what would be your best outcome for today? And what would be the outcome that you would like to see everyone get from this? I would like you to take a couple of deep breaths and really connect with that thought. What would be a good outcome for us to program ourselves for our future behavior? I would like to see your answers, what you would like to see change in your behavior or in the behavior of our society. As I'm gonna ask Stacey one more question before I'm gonna ask Richard on stage. So Richard, get ready. Stacey, as the host, what is something that you would really like answered today in these 4 presenters?
Well, we talked about it a little bit before, and I would love to see the listeners leave this environment inspired, the way that I left inspired after attending all the other webinars, but also for the speakers to have a regained sense of energy towards the goals that they're working towards, because I think all of our speakers are doing amazing work and really, really inspiring work. And I remember that when I left, I felt super empowered and energized, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is why I'm doing what I'm doing, and I hope that they have the same feeling.
Okay, awesome. Well, with that, it's time for Richard. Richard, get ready to get on stage. When you're ready, please press your button. And you can stay for just a little bit more, Stacey. As I said, this is all going to be very new. This is the first time we're doing it this way. So there are small adjustments. Thank you, everyone, for participating. There is Richard. Richard, welcome.
Yes, thank you very much.
Richard has a very long bio, but the most important thing is that he's one of the founders of the Curaçao 311 app. I'm going to let Richard introduce himself in a bit. But first, I want to acknowledge him for what he has done, not just with the 311 app, but also how present he is in our community. You were doing something with track and field, so you're a coach there. So that's very important to keep our young ones moving. You're very much busy in the environmental world, but you're also busy in the web world. So I would say we're going to leave the stage. And we're going to give you your chance to introduce yourself. Don't forget to upload your presentation. And Stacey,
here we go. Good luck. Yep.
See you in a bit. Richard?
Yes. Okay. Here we go. I'm still there? Okay. You left. Okay. Hi, everyone. This is Richard Riedel. Annie, thank you very much for the nice introduction. My roots. So I'm born and raised in Curaçao, so I can say I'm a very proud Judy Curaçao. As a kid, I always liked to do fun stuff and challenging stuff and challenge myself. So I was always climbing on stuff, climbing trees and roofs. And as I became a teenager, I was doing all the crazy stuff like climbing antennas, like the antenna towers of Citel. It was then. So yeah, but besides those crazy stuff, what I love to do is to inspire other people to improve the lives of other people. That's a great passion that I have. Maybe it's because of my parents; they were teachers, and they were always busy trying to help other people improve the lives of other people. So yeah, so after when I was about 18, I left Curaçao. I went to the Netherlands to study and work. And in the Netherlands, I started next to my other work. Next to my work, I was actually they call it particulier digitaal rechercheur in Dutch, just like a digital private investigator. Maybe digital forensics. I will say something also about what I was doing. Basically, I was working like a white hat hacker, so trying to hack companies so we can that ask us to hack them to create a report on what are the leaks in their systems and how they should protect their digital environment better. During this time, at home, just for fun, I built a web server, and so I started to host websites for other people. And with the time going on, people was asking me to build websites and to create designs and so on. So I started to do that like as a hobby next to my work, and that meant a lot of sleepless nights and breaks. That I didn't at work. That I didn't go out with my colleagues to have a nice time in the summer and so on. So fast forward to today, back in Curaçao for about I'm almost 5 years now back in Curaçao. The reason I came is actually obviously not for work because I had more possibilities in the Netherlands. I came actually for family, especially for my son, because when he was about 4, he came back to Curaçao with his mother, and I was traveling up and down Curaçao to the Netherlands, and one day I stayed in Curaçao. So that's almost 5 years ago, and I'm very happy with my decision that I made. What I do, what I love to do. This is, of course, we have to work. We can only do what we enjoy. We have to work. But the great thing is that I enjoy my work. So I'm the CEO of my company called Ticon BV, and maybe more people know the name SnelleWeb. That's a brand name of Ticon BV. So since the beginning, my main goal was to try to help as much people as possible, and by helping as much people as possible, I mean from the startup to the people that don't have any clue about digitalization and so on, till bigger corporations, and so we help like people that are trying to sell, let's say, try to sell their own clothes that they make at home, till financial institutions and building payment systems, and the government is also a client of ours. And I have a job next to that also. I love to help people and teach people stuff. So, but I know I couldn't become a full-time teacher because I don't think I could handle that. So, but I'm a part-time teacher at ICUC, the Intercontinental University of the Caribbean. So that's a great opportunity I have also. Of course, in these times, you can see a screenshot there. The lessons are online also on Zoom. So let's say the new normal. But it's very nice to see everybody at the moment embracing technology and making not steps but leaps at those moments. And sometimes it's because they see the opportunity that they can do stuff that they couldn't do before. And sometimes it's sometimes they don't have any other option. It's something that they just have to do to keep surviving and keep working. About Curaçao 311. So in the introduction, Andy talked about Curaçao 311. This is a platform. It's built by citizens, for citizens by citizens. It's not it's something that we started off as a group. This group is called Smart Mobility Caribbean Foundation. I'm going to tell you a little bit more about it. And our vision is to bring solutions for everyday problems. So the first step towards solving a problem is to recognize, take notice, assess, and document it. With the use of technology, it is now easier for all citizens to help gather important data and participate in this very step towards bringing more solutions in our lives. So, of course, we can say the government has to do this, the government has to do that, but we as citizens have to rise up and take responsibility and take action and try to bring change into the way we live and the way we live with each other. So in this app, you can, the basic function of this app that we created is to make reports. Of different kind of issues. By the way, the name 311 is not like 911. 911 is for emergencies, and 311 is for other issues that are not urgent. So we have different partners. We have some governmental partners also. We have the Ministry of Justice, the Ministry of Urban Planning, and the Ministry of Economic Development. Next to that, we have other partners also for the category of accessibility, like Alton Pass Foundation. I still work a lot with people with accessibility issues, and Silicor also. Of course, Silicor are the ones that help with let's say, illegal dumping and dead animals on the street and so on. So for the people who have to know this app already, you're seeing that there is a new category also, social distancing, not unauthorized business open, and curfew violations. By the way, maybe the curfew violations is something that we have to take out again because I think they just stopped that today. Of course, no. Okay, potholes, that's a big issue, of course, on Curaçao. These registrations, these reports go straight away to VRP. So they have a dashboard, they can see everything. Food safety, in this case, it falls on the MAO, the Ministry of Economic Development. They receive the reports also, bulky waste, garbage in the streets, illegal dumping, that's maybe one of the most important ones also. It's one that we have a lot of issue with it on Curaçao. People dumping. Of course, you can have garbage in the street. That's people throwing bottles out of the car and leaving like leaving packages of food behind and so on. But illegal dumping is a bigger issue, a bigger problem, of course, because this is like when people dump like whole sofas and fridges and things like that. Accessibility issues and traffic accidents, those are also goes also to VVRP. And dead animals, that is one of the reports that has been used or been done a lot also. These reports go direct to Silicor, so they can take action and go clean up the dead animal in the street. And all these reports are being done by citizens. So all the data that we have in this system, on this platform, all this data is basically crowdsourced data. So of course we know about crowdfunding. This is it's all hype, crowdfunding. Crowdsourced data, that's something extremely important, and it's something very powerful, because we as citizens are everywhere. So if we expect government workers to drive around in their cars and to check where there's a dead animal lying in the street, or somebody throwing stuff on the street, people not comply with social distancing. That's not going to happen, or it's not enough. It's not enough. The great majority of people on the streets are us, the citizens. So we are the ones who can create, who can make more reports and create more data. So so the government can work with this data and help them. This can help them create better planning, and this can help them to take action. And very, 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 very extremely important also, using 311, you can make reports completely anonymous. So there is no way we can trace who made the report. If you choose to be anonymous, there is no way we can trace to see who did the report, because we don't collect any data that will give us your identity. And our partners that receive this data won't be able to see your information either. So only when you say that you want to give your information, we could see it, or the other agencies could see it. So the history behind Curaçao 311. It's maybe for some people it looks like something big, something like a group of colleagues work like long to get started, or that maybe we got funding to create it or something. But it's basically 5 strangers coming together and believing in each other and believing in the same goals to make a better Curaçao, and working in our free time. Most of us don't have free time, but we create time to work on these projects. Like we always meet on a Thursday night, and I literally have to, when I'm done with coaching at SDK, I have to drive home, drop off my son, and drive straight away to the meeting. So I'm always sitting in the meeting. Everyone is like mostly still in work clothing and so on, and I'm in my training clothes and not smelling very well all the time. So yeah, so basically, I'm gonna take you back to 2018. That's the time that we met the first time. So that's not long ago at all, less than 2 years ago. This was at the Innovathon in October 2018. This was organized by City, also City and Mayo. And we didn't know each other before this day. I knew one of the guys before this day, but just like for about 1 month. But basically, we, as these 4 or 5 guys together, we didn't know each other before that day. And we worked together during the Innovathon on one idea for the government, and we won the 2nd place for the government category. Fast forward 2019. 1 year, just 1 year after this, we won. We won the Innovation Award, also organized by City, Curaçao Innovation Award. So this was, of course, we were very happy this day, and hard work really paid off. Like I said, we all have our own our jobs and so on. So it's actually working very hard to try to create something for Curaçao. And again, this is us working in our own time and investing our time and money to be able to create this. And just after that, in November, also a couple of days after that, we launched officially the 301 platform. We were online already, but this is the day we launched officially. And as you see, this was at Mayo. and we had the signing of the agreement with the Ministry of Economic Development. So these are from the left to the right. This is Nelson Mambre. Sometimes we call him Nelson Mandela. We have Judith Cristina, and then you have me, Richard. And you have Luigi Scotto and Joe Screer. So these 5 guys, these 5 crazy guys who just met each other a short time ago, went and sat down and took the time and worked towards one goal, to create something, again, to help Curaçao to become more sustainable, to help. We're very proud also of the fact that we have multiple government agencies working together on one platform. So that's what we believe in, that of course we know working together is how you can get things done, like we did, 5 guys not knowing each other working together. So the government, of course, like trying to set the example a little bit, also trying to get them to work together on this platform. So we have all departments interested in this platform or on the platform already. So we want to create more of these solutions also in the future. What sustainable development goals, of course, most of you guys knows about these goals already. And what we fit in goal 11, sustainable cities and communities, because we, our name of our foundation says it also, Smart Mobility Caribbean Foundation. We try to work on of course, smart solutions, and also one of our members has more than 10 years experience in smart mobility. So we have a lot of knowledge also about that area, and of course we applaud DNAF also with what they are doing, because we need more companies like this working to help make make our environment better. At the moment, we are working also on other projects, and to bet for the whole COVID-19 situation, some projects are on hold, especially one of public transport, big, nice, great public transport project. So I can't tell too much. I can't say too much about it. And besides that, we're working on other, I can say, very nice projects also to basically to help Curaçao. So guys, if you don't have the app on your phone, please download it. It's in Apple Store. It's on Google Play. Have it ready so you can make a report when you have to. You can even drive home and at home sit and still make the report. So visit our website also, Curaçao311.com. There you can see all the reports that we received already. Thank you very much for this, for your time. Hope to see you again very soon.
Good job, Richard. How are you feeling? Stacey, can you come on stage, please? Go ahead, tell me, how are you feeling?
Yeah, a bit relieved. So I hope I hope the message or the information came across well, and I hope we can inspire more people to work together and just go and try to make stuff, try to build stuff, putting heads together, and of course, like any other organizations, not everyone has the same idea at the same moment. So it's about giving each other the chance to do what they like to do and believing in each other, and doing, creating, and just believing and being crazy. Just do it. Yeah. So.
I think you did the most difficult part because you were the first one to speak. You did great. I can see, I can tell. So chill. Stacey, do you have a question for Richard?
I do have one question for now. I love this idea of this app. I think it's brilliant, and I really hope that a lot of people are using it already. And that's also kind of my question: how has the app been received by the community thus far?
Thus far, it's received very well. We have about, I think, totally about 2,000 downloads. So there is a lot of room for improvement. Like I said, it's just our we doing this. We don't have any funding or anything to extra more promotion or anything. So it's up to the citizens, up to the people to spread the word and use it, of course. Because more data means that the partners will see also that one, there is the public, the citizens want change, and secondly, from the data you can get information about where the issues are and how to solve the issues. Yes.
Well, one of the reasons you got this stage was, of course, to give the app more visibility. And I would like to ask all the participants in the chat to help Richard and the whole team of Curaçao 311 to get more visibility after
Report
this.
Everything.
Report everything and share the video. That's we shared it on our Innovation C page, but you can also find it on the Curaçao 311 page that I shared. Share the video. Richard, thank you very much. I would say go take a sip of water, breathe out, and I'm gonna ask Giacomo Booi to come on stage, and I'm gonna remove you from the stage. Thank you very much, Richard.
Thank you, Richard.
Thank you.
So, Stacy, are you more at ease now?
I am.
It's
and I
very,
have so many questions.
and so do I.
I'm excited for the roundtable.
Exactly. I've written them all down. Please remember, we're gonna have a roundtable at the end.
Yep.
Richard's gonna come back where you can ask questions, and where Stacy's also gonna ask more questions. But first, we're gonna welcome our credible Giacomo Booi. Giacomo, how are your nerves?
Oh, I'm actually feeling better than like an hour before. Yeah.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
I'm happy to be here. Thank you for inviting me. Yes.
You're very welcome. What are you going to talk about today?
I'm talking about circular economy in the Caribbean, and I hope I can plant a seed.
Okay.
Yeah.
Stacey, you know anything about circular economy?
I do. My very, very, very best friend, who is actually here tonight, or today, I have to say, is also very active in circular economy. So I hope that there can be a nice link up here. So
yeah, always.
It's already a success.
Yeah,
exactly.
Giacomo, we're gonna give you the stage. Please upload your presentation. Stacy, I'll see you in a bit after this talk. And Giacomo, toi.
Thank you very much. So yeah, hello everyone. Let me see. Okay. So, Andy, I think I can't switch the. Okay, let me see. 1 second. Oh yeah. So hello everyone. My name is Giacomo Booi, and today I'm gonna tell you how I got sustainable programmed. So my name is Giacomo Booi, and I'm on a mission, and my mission is to give you guys a different view on waste, to look at waste in a different way, that it's not just something that is supposed to be thrown away on the landfill, but it actually has value. And I was a marketing manager in Germany before, and one day I was not happy anymore with what I was doing, and I was not going to do that all of my life. So I started searching, and yeah, I'm happy that I came back to my roots, because I was born in Curaçao as well. My mother's German, my father's Curaçao. I'm also Curaçao, but I grew up in Germany, so I have a lot of influence from different cultures in me, and this helps me now quite well. So I can actually attend webinars in Germany on German, and Germany is doing a great job. And yeah, in Amsterdam there were some pretty nice webinars this year already, and I'm happy to guide you guys through my journey. So the social impact was not always my main focus, but through my mission on my journey, I met so many great people who understood my work and where I'm heading to. And these people actually showed me that it's not only the nature that I have to care about, but that the people are also a big part of this whole, like everything is connected. So I started to actually care more about also the social impact, and also my marketing background helped me a lot to understand why people actually throw stuff away. And well, my goal is of course also to create a new economy. And why did I actually choose the waste management sector? There are so many other big global issues, but the plastic in the ocean was actually I could not let go of this topic. And at one point I found out that the minority of the plastic actually goes down, sinks to the ocean floor. So we don't see the biggest part of the plastic and also other trash. So this is why I got hooked to this plastic pollution topic. And then I asked myself, why do people throw stuff into the ocean or away? And yeah, for me, it's the mentality. So in Germany, we say throw away mentality. And it starts in the early days. So as we are kids, we already get programmed. And the people who program us don't really know that they program us. So our surrounding, the people that teach us what we do, they are not aware of it. But for example, if parents give us a toy, they don't sit down with us and build a toy out of wood. So we as children, we don't really understand where the material comes from, where the toy is made of. So we don't have a connection to the material. So as soon as the toy breaks and it does not fulfill its purpose anymore, well, we don't want it anymore. It does not entertain us anymore. And what parents do is they just throw it in the bin. And here on Curaçao, they have only one bin, and then it goes straight to the landfill. And yeah, of course, the marketing campaigns of big companies are also a big part of it. So they want us to be good consumers and buy new products, throw old products away. So there's a big influence over there as well. And for me, I kind of understood that, of course, companies have to survive. So they are working towards profit to also survive the next year. So I totally understand that. But the sustainable part is most of the time not in the center of this focus. So often you see that profit goes over sustainability. So I asked myself, what can I do about it? And then I found this amazing concept of the circular economy. And for today, I rewrote this a little bit. And circular mentality is actually something that we all can learn. So we can program ourselves to see the benefits of a circular economy. Because the products that we buy actually have high quality resources that we can use to make new products or use for other projects that we are working on. And yeah, I want to build a new norm. First, I start in Curaçao, and then with my amazing team, we are going all over all islands and spread around the Caribbean. And yeah, it's going to be amazing. Well, I want to talk about the company responsibilities, because this is a topic that hooked me also for the last couple of years. And it all starts within us in the personal mind shift, because it's not the company that has to change, it's the people inside the companies. So if we as consumers separate ourselves from being the consumer, we're also people who work for a company or who have a company. Like, yeah, you get my point. And yeah, the first step is to reflect, to see that our actions actually have impact. And then, yeah, as soon as you understand what you're doing, then it's time to let go of old behavioral, things that you learned since your childhood. And for me personally, I had to work a lot on my ego to also stop trying to impress everyone and showing everyone how awesome everything is that I want to do. So my ego, like, was one reason why I wanted to get a new phone every 2 years, for example, or drive a nice car and, I don't know, fly to nice places, go on nice vacations, take nice pictures, share it with friends. So it's also a part of this mind shift, in my opinion. And then, of course, repeat it. So it's a process. You can't change overnight. So yeah, also I'm also working on it. I'm also not perfect yet. But what I want to say is that the people who work in the company, especially the leaders, if they change their behavior and they care more about their environmental impact, they make decisions in the company that try to produce less impacts, like less environmental impacts on that one. And what the whole circular economy idea actually opens up, what I found out, is collaboration. Because if you have waste where you don't know what to do with, then you find someone else who actually has a purpose for this kind of waste. So yeah, I don't want to go too deep in that, but you guys can ask me any questions afterwards. Otherwise, I won't make it in time. And of course, being an example for other companies, we're not there yet. But yeah, everybody has his own clock, and it takes for everyone a different time to change. So this is what we do at Green Phoenix. We are being an example. So we are a social enterprise, and we actually, like, our roots are based in a conservation group, Sea Turtle Conservation Curaçao, and we were founded by Sabine Berenson, who did beach cleanups over many years, and made sure that Klein Curaçao, for example, has no plastic mountains anymore. And I was as inspired by her work and the whole group that I stopped with my NGO and I joined forces with Green Phoenix to become more powerful, and it's amazing. Since then, we have so much success, and we are creating the circular economy in the Caribbean. So, and well, we have a great team now. We work together with SOA. We give people who were searching for work for a long time, we give them a chance to get back to the routine, and it's amazing. There's so much love. We have so much fun, and we work together. And the best thing is, this nice shirt is a present from this group for my birthday. So this is why I'm wearing it today, because I'm very proud of it. And yeah, I feel very blessed that these people came into my life, and they also identify with what we are doing. And this is something that makes me proud. So they bring their family members to Green Phoenix and show them what we're doing. And then I'm just proud of everything what we do. And we just started. It's amazing. So just to let you know what we do with the plastic. So for example, the plastic bottles, we use them to 3D print new products. So we just, grind them and then, make new products out of them. And this is something we use to also go to schools to do some education and, just make a live demonstration, taking a bottle out of the bin, shred it in front of the class with a beautiful home trainer that Limpy Recycling actually made for us on Curaçao locally. and the kids could see how a bottle becomes raw material and then goes straight into the printer that was designed by our friends from Spain. And it's amazing. It's amazing. And when the kids understand why they should not throw away the plastic bottle. And well, this is another machine that we use for other types of plastics. It's an extrusion machine, and we make building materials out of that, beams, bricks, like whatever. Like there's like so much potential in materials that we actually just throw on a big landfill. And this is something we should not do. It's bad for the environment. And even if it's maybe not in the ocean directly, as soon as a storm comes by, the whole mountain of trash also ends up in the ocean. So it's not a solution we should go for. Yeah, we are promoting the circular economy, and yeah, if you guys have any ideas, if you have any good motivational thoughts, you're always welcome to come to our office in Zealandia. And during the COVID response task force period, I was blessed to work with an amazing team from local entrepreneurs who came together to produce locally personal protective equipment. So in case we cannot import these equipments anymore from other countries, that we at least can produce them locally and protect the nurses and the people who protect us. And here we had the chance to actually demonstrate the idea of a circular economy. So we introduced a deposit scheme, because in Curaçao we don't have a deposit scheme yet. And everything actually ends up in one bin and goes straight to the landfill. And that's why we just thought, if we have the chance to introduce a product, then we can directly introduce our own deposit scheme. 25 cents is not a lot, but it's more the idea behind it. So people start thinking about it. And we are super proud of this task force group. If you want to know more about it, Andy will get more information. He can write a blog post about it, and then you can read more about it. And I want to thank DNAF as well. They gave us electric cars, so we don't have to use gasoline to transport the equipment to the places where they needed them. So they helped us to also deliver sustainably. And CT gave us one of their printers because we were producing a bit too slow. And then with their help, we could actually produce enough so the people could open their stores again, for example. And yeah, I'm very proud of this task force group. There are more people involved, but yeah, we will write a blog post about it. And yeah, you can always look up our social media, of course. My name is Giacomo Booi. Thank you very much for listening, and I hope I could plant a seed in your heads to open your minds.
Yes, you did.
All right.
Hey, Stacy, welcome back. Giacomo, how are you feeling?
Oh, I feel awesome. Thank you for this possibility. Yeah, I was so nervous, and now I don't understand why I was nervous. It was fun, actually. Yeah, thank you. Thank you for this opportunity.
Really good.
Stacy, you have a question for Giacomo?
So many questions, so many. I mean, I'm just super inspired, and I love that you are leading by example, so that you're actually, showing the island and the government and our community how you can be circular. Because I think circular, explaining the idea of a circular economy is quite complex. But I love the way that you guys have simplified it by just doing it and implementing it. I do have a question. How have you been working with the government? Because I know that the government has, you've mentioned some sponsoring from other companies and support from other companies. How has the government been receiving these initiatives from you guys?
Well, I'm happy that they actually love us. They love our initiative. So we have several ministers from different, how do you say, groups in Dutch? I know, sorry. And I'm not the person who has this awesome contacts. Sabine Berenson, she is doing all these things, so she can explain you everything about that. But the SOA program is actually something that we are very proud of, because we made an experiment, we tried it, and the people, they loved the idea that they are not just working. You know, it's we also prepared meals. We helped them if they didn't have enough money to take a bus or something. We try to organize the lifts so they don't have to take a bus. Some people had to take like 3 or 4 different buses, and they had to pay money for that. And SOA gave them money for the transport. So yeah, it's a very beautiful project, and we are about to grow. And I hope this all goes as it was going until now, like in the future.
I think that's the most impressive part of the project. Something's going on with the noise here. Yeah, I think that's the most impressive part of the project. You're doing amazing things with SOA. Sabine Berendsen, that's also in the crowd. Thank you. And yes, she has all the reason to be proud of Giacomo. One thing that I was very surprised of was you mentioning that you have an ego. Knowing you personally, you're the most kindest.
I have an ego. The secret for me was to not trying to push it away, but to like kind of respect my ego, but not give it any control. It doesn't work always, I have to say.
Yeah. Do I have time for one more question, Andy? Or do we have to move on?
We have to move on to stay on time.
I'll save it.
Thank you very much.
In the round table, we're going to have more time. I'm going to thank Giacomo. I'm going to kick you off stage, and I'm going to ask Miss Amber van Veghel to come on stage.
Great job, Giacomo.
That was awesome. So your second guest was just left the stage. Are you okay, Stacy?
I'm okay.
Okay. Amber. Hello.
Hi, everyone. Hello.
Hi, Amber.
Where are you? Because you were supposed to be in Bandabao and then in Otrabanda. Where are you?
So I came all the way to Otrabanda to have a good Wi-Fi connection, and then I got kicked out. So now I'm in another place in the same building.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be good now.
Okay, good.
It's the third try, so it has to be good, right?
Third time's the charm.
As always, just a quick reminder to all the participants, there's a lot of nervousness built up for all of the speakers when the seminars come, when these conferences come. Also for us as the organizers, whether it's Luc, Stacy, or me. So thank you all for participating. Thank you all for being so collaborative. Keep asking your questions and being part of the community, because it's not about us, it's about, without you being part in the chat, it wouldn't be of any importance. So thank you for that.
Also, a reminder to the speakers, if participants ask questions in the question box, feel free to answer them. I see that Richard already answered one, and there's also one for Giacomo. So go ahead and share your answers there as well.
Good paying attention, Stacy. I think you should co-host more often. But let's give Amber the stage, because she's looking very nice and shiny today. And I'll talk to you later, Stacy. Amber, please upload your presentation.
Yes.
And take a deep breath, and the stage is yours.
So thank you so much. Thank you everyone for being here. And I'm going to talk to you about something that is so interesting for me, and that's food. So my whole world, it's about food, not only about eating, but also about food in a more professional way, in an academic way. And I am a food technologist. With that background and with 2 years of working experience now as an independent consultant and entrepreneur, I want to take you into a deep dive to discover if we are programmed to make more sustainable food choices. And I'm actually gonna share my answer to that question with you already. Yes, big yes, we are definitely programmed. But first, a bit more about me. So I grew up here. I'm Curaçao. My mother is Curaçao. My father is from the Netherlands. And on the left here, you can see me having my swimming diploma. Maybe some of you can even recognize yourself on that picture. Please share in the chat if you do. That would be funny. And then we moved to the Netherlands with my family. And I came back in 2020. So this year in January. And I'm so happy that was just before the COVID that I was here. And I didn't only come back to eat nice Criollo food with my family, but I came back to work here on more sustainable food systems. Why? Well, what happened in the meantime? I'll tell you. In the Netherlands, I've always had a passion and interest for food in different ways. Like I was always looking when I was in the supermarket, what's on the shelves. I actually collected wrappers of candies. I collected beer caps. I collected sugar sachets just because I was attracted to this marketing, this advertisement that is on there. So it was not a surprise really that I went to study food technology at Wageningen University, because it's just so interesting how food becomes, gets from the farm to the shelf, what needs to be done in the time in between. And I think I did a lot of binge watching of how it's made. You should check that out on YouTube. It's just so interesting how foods are made. So indeed, it's very interesting. But at some point I thought, okay, so I'm actually being taught how to create a lot of those food products on the left, but I'm learning more and more about environmental impact, about health. So I think we should eat a bit more of the food products on the right, the wholesome, the vegetables, the fruits. And I started doubting, why am I studying this? Okay, there are good things in food technology that are actually serving us, serving our planet. But I think most of the things in the supermarket we don't really need. So that's why I started to do more and more, go more and more in the direction of sustainability, and I did several sustainability analysis during my master's. But why do I do what I do? Why did I start to work as an independent consultant and entrepreneur? Well, for different reasons. And why in this field, of course, food and sustainability? It's quite specific. First of all, it's just so broad. There is so much to discover. You can always dig into one food product, or you can dig into one specific problem in food chains, in food systems. You will never be bored if you're into food and sustainability. It's impossible, really. And also because food just connects everything. Food has a package, food has advertisement, food comes from agriculture. But most of all, when I learned about the impact of food, and for example, when I learned that 1/3 of all the CO2 that we emit as a planet is caused by the way we consume and we produce food. Okay, 1/3 of all CO2 by the way we produce and consume food. And one example of how CO2 is produced, you can see here. This is a rainforest, and we actually cut down a lot of rainforests to grow food. And is that important? I definitely think it is, because we need rainforests to actually store CO2. We need rainforests to keep biodiversity, to keep our ecosystems. And we need them for a lot of medicines which weren't actually yet discovered, but are still growing in the rainforests. And that's just tiny explanation, because I cannot go too deep, unfortunately, today. So then I came to Curaçao. And basically what I did, I had to rediscover this food system here, because I learned a lot from my work and my studies in the Netherlands. And I've worked together with many thought leaders in my field. But coming to Curaçao, it's just like starting all over again. Yes, I can take some knowledge with me, but I really had to go into supermarket, talk to wholesalers, talk to consumers, just driving and stopping by when you see that somebody is on the street selling bakbanaan, plantains. Just asking, where did the food come from? Just paying attention. And one of the things that I found during this journey is that one of the things that will help Curaçao in getting a more sustainable and healthier food system is to produce more locally. And that's why we set up the Dushi Challenge. Maybe some of you have heard about it. Maybe some of you know what this plant is. Well, it's sweet potato, batata dushi it is. And together with 3 farmers, I set up the Dushi Challenge right before the lockdown. And now in total, we actually gave for free about 250 cuttings of sweet potato to people from Banda Bao till Banda Riba. And on Facebook, we posted several videos explaining how they can plant the sweet potatoes. And I know that some people that are here also have some sweet potato in their garden as we speak. And it was just so exciting for me in this challenge to see the smile on people's face because we gave them the sweet potato. And I also have my own sweet potato now, of course. So if you are curious and you're very curious to our next challenge, which we will announce soon, please like us on Facebook and we will keep you up to date. So now more about sustainable programming, as I promised. But first, I want to ask you a question. Did you have breakfast this morning? And if you did have breakfast, what did you have for breakfast? Was it bacon and eggs, maybe? And do you think you made that decision on your own if you did have bacon and eggs? Let me tell you a bit of history about bacon and eggs. In the 1920s, Edward Bernays, he is a master in psychology, in mass psychology actually. He got asked by the company Beechnut, who used to produce a lot of bacon. He got asked, hey, our bacon sales went down, they need to go up, we need to make money. Can you help us? Yeah, sure. That's what he said. So what did he do? He went to his doctor and he asked his doctor, would it be more beneficial for Americans to have a heavyweight or heavier breakfast instead of the light breakfast without bacon that we have nowadays? His doctor said yes. So he asked the doctor, oh, can you write then 5,000 other doctors to see if they agree? Oh yeah, of course I can do that. The stories I found on the internet say that it was against no cost, but I don't believe that. So what happened? 4,500 doctors, they actually wrote back saying, yeah, it could be better. And yeah, it could include some bacon, but on a moderate amount, of course. What did Edward hear? He heard, yes, everybody should eat bacon and eggs because that will be a lot better for them. And he promoted that in newspapers all across the country. Guess what happened? Bacon sales went up drastically. And did you know that actually we didn't always have breakfast? We started eating breakfast because we needed to eat in a way to fit into the 9-to-5 culture we still have nowadays. And did you know that I only heard about this fact 1 week ago from a friend of mine? That just indicates how interesting the food system is and how you can always keep learning and discovering new things and understanding better why we eat the way that we eat. And okay, this is the last did you know. Did you know that this Edward Bernays, he is also the brain behind the Lucky Strike advertisements, which is actually also convincing women to instead of taking a sweet so they can stay slim. And he really got onto the emotional level of all of these women because it was to give them freedom to smoke all in the open. It was a symbol of freedom. But in the end, I think it didn't give most women the freedom they desired. So back to breakfast. Maybe some of you had cereals. This is Fruit Loops. Actually, this is my childhood memory, really. Every time I would come back on holidays, my bag would be filled with boxes of Fruit Loops. and I really enjoyed those. But since when did we start eating cereals for breakfast? In 1906, they were invented by accident by Dr. Kellogg's. They were invented for a health purpose, actually. People loved them. It was just so convenient because people didn't have to cook their breakfast anymore, but they could just whoop, cereals, milk, have their breakfast, have more convenience. One of the reasons why there are so many products in the supermarket. But Dr. Kellogg's now, he has a brother. His brother wasn't so interested in health. His brother was a lot more interested in business, in advertisement. And he saw, hey, these sales, they're going so good, but what can I do to improve them? What if we add sugar? What if we diversify and make Fruit Loops, Choco Pops? This came at a later stage, of course. And what if we do branding with things that children like? Children will beg their parents, oh, please give me some cereals. And that's why we're eating so many cereals today. And the packages are even putting health claims on them that they are so healthy, so good. But to me, the food with so much sugar in the morning can be good. Another example. This was in the Netherlands, all over the television, radio, social media. 4 o'clock kupa soup. More people should do that. So this brand really tried to put into our minds, oh, it's 4 o'clock, we need to drink kupa soup. And at many offices in the Netherlands, you see this kupa soup automate, just like a coffee automate. But they are full of salts, so doubtful if it's really that good for us. Now the question, are we programmed? And some of these examples we also see on the island. I took this picture on the left of Subway, and it has this big advertisement, make it meaty. So it's actually convincing us, hey, if you want a good meal, you better have meat on your sandwich, eh? Which is not so good for the environment. I will elaborate on that later. And seeing all those kind of advertisements, because this is just one example. There are, okay, now I want to ask you, just take a look when you drive through Curaçao, when you walk through Curaçao, what kind of advertisements do I see? Do they have food on it? What kind of food is it? And you'll mostly see that it's meat, it's sugars, it's soft drinks, things that we desire. We have a desire for fat, for salt, for meat. We have a desire for that. Just take a look when you walk around the streets, okay? So next, Kentucky Fried Chicken. What are they doing to program us to buy more? Well, they know that we have a lot of sense of family on Curaçao. And this is, by the way, this is not a Curaçao advertisement, but they probably use this in another country where they have a lot of sense of family. And they use that to make us come together and to enjoy deep fried, meaty foods, which aren't that healthy. And McDonald's, of course, they are seducing children with those toys. Happiness by drinking a very sugary drink, maybe in the short term, but in the long term. And when visiting a botica, I haven't seen a botica without all these sweets and chocolates. While I'm thinking we go to the botica to get medicine to get better, we are actually being kept sick. But what about Valentine's Day? Is it still about, hey, I love you so much, I care about you? Or did we get programmed to have to buy chocolate? Does that have a social impact? Yes, it does. When we look at the young people here on the island, many don't eat enough fruits, many don't eat enough vegetables. Actually, most people, 65% of the youngsters, they eat fast food every week. And every day, almost 50% of the youngsters, they drink soft drinks. So why is that bad? It causes a lot of overweight and obesity. And not only does it have a social impact here on the island, it also has a social impact globally. I'm talking now specifically with this picture about the chocolate. This is what we don't see. When we buy chocolate, when we buy it hard, for our partner or our mother. Doesn't matter. And we buy that heart of chocolate. We're like, oh, so nice. But on the other hand, at the other side of the world, there's child labor being involved. And we don't see that as we buy the chocolate. So that's why I think that definitely has a social impact to just buy everything that advertisements ask us to buy. Let me just give you one more example. So if we buy certain fruits and vegetables that come from abroad and they don't have any quality standards, then we don't know how it's produced. We know that it took water to produce them, for example, but we don't know where did this water come from. And we don't know this water that was used to produce these fruits and vegetables. If it was stolen from local people who actually really, really needed that water stream for their survival. All these things we don't know. That's one reason why it's better to buy local, because then we can see what's going on. But it's not only about social impact, it's also about environmental impact. And as I mentioned before, our eating habits, they are responsible for 1/3 of the CO2 that we emitted as humans into the environment. And that's mostly because of the meat, mostly because of the dairy, because we are cutting down rainforests. And I can elaborate on this a lot more, but let's leave that for another talk. But this is about environmental impact, right? And what I think, when we cause an environmental impact, we are always causing a social impact as well. Because if the environment is not functioning well, we cannot function well. We are one with nature, okay? We are one team. And sometimes we tend to forget that. And sometimes we also tend to forget that if we make a global environmental impact, we also make a local environmental impact. Let sarcasm please be the proof of that. Thank you.
Well, you over-delivered, Amber. You're way up. Amazing.
That's a compliment, right?
It is, absolutely.
It was
Yeah.
hypnotic. I see Shani is also saying it, speaking my language, Amber. There's so much. I hope you stick around for the roundtable, because I'm sure we're gonna have tons of questions. Stacy, do you have one closing question now for Amber before we go on to our next speaker?
Wow. Okay. No, I don't know, because I think I just no. I just want to give you a compliment that this presentation has been absolutely wonderful, and so I just want to say that you presented so well, and I hope that you will give this presentation on many platforms on the islands. And I have a lot of topics or things I want to discuss, but I'll save them for the roundtable because it's going to take too long, and I don't want to shortcut that discussion. So thank you so much, Amber. I loved it.
I fully agree on that. Just to be sure, Amber doesn't have a site, but or a Facebook page, but Stacy was so smart to share the Douchey Challenge Curaçao that you can find in the link. So please join her on there, or on LinkedIn, of course, if you want to help creating a change. Amber, really. And I have to thank someone else, not just you, but also Giacomo, who told me to talk to you, and the same day you contacted me. So it all came together. So yes.
Yeah.
Sharita says the same, so it's a very good job, Amber. I'm gonna give you some time. How are you feeling? I've totally forgot to ask. How are you feeling?
I'm hot because the airco is not working, but I'm feeling excited. I'm feeling really excited to have shared this story, and thank you so much for your compliments. I really hope that there are some people in this in this conference that want to hear the story again and more elaborate, because there were a lot of things I couldn't touch on, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And I want to thank you, because you pushed me to dig deep. Why is this important? And you pushed me to create my story in a way that I can tell others. I really like that journey of putting together that presentation.
Awesome.
You did it tremendously. Yeah.
You really did.
And I do believe that you deserve a full hour at least with a huge Q&A afterwards to get into all that knowledge that you have in your skill. So we're gonna work on that. You're definitely in our Rolodex to do more presentations, even though you're gonna leave the island. I'm gonna kick you off stage to call on our next presenter, Amber. Amazing job. Thank you.
Thank you. And keep an eye on the question box.
Yes, indeed. Stacey, you're doing an amazing job.
I just want to put on more light in my little office because I see that it's getting a little bit dark. So yes, here we go.
It's getting later at you. Luc is not on stage today, as for the ones that came in later. Amber, Stacey and I are taking over next session. I won't be there, and then Luc is going to do that in a different way again. We're switching things up to keep it all going, but we're growing as a platform. But we'll talk more about that in the roundtable. I'm going to ask Mr. Kris Bouwstra. Can you please come on stage? That went fast. Kris, how are you doing?
He's ready.
I was on the bench for an hour right now, so yeah, I really wanted to tell you what we are doing at DNAF. It's not DINAF, but DNAF.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for. You need to correct me as many times as possible because I keep doing that. You've been waiting the longest as everyone. Can you feel that? Are you extra nervous or are you in smooth mood?
No, for things like this, I'm always a little bit nervous, but it's all about stepping out of your comfort zone. This is the first time that I do a webinar or a presentation digital like this. So I'm hoping everybody's still awake and I can get started.
Okay. Well, thank everyone in the chat again. If you have a question, please put it in the questions. Also for the DNAF crew later, there are many of them present, and that's also one of the reasons why I asked Kris to be part of today. Stacey, thank you. See you later in the roundtable. And Kris, please take the stage, upload your presentation, and show us your way of doing things.
Yeah, thank you. Hello, everybody. It's a little bit strange to talk like you, and I see nobody's faces. I like interactive presentations, so if you have questions, please ask them. Maybe I can get through a couple of questions during my presentation. Because I'm the last one, and it's in a couple of countries in the world, it's already turning dark at the moment. I want to start with a small video, of DNAF. Yes, that's my introduction of DNAF. So, Andy has also asked me to tell something about myself. Back in in 2007, it was just a simple application for an internship that brought me to Curaçao. That's application for the internship was answered by Wendy, and Wendy is the one that became my wife in 2011. We got married in Curaçao, so yeah, that's the connection with me with this beautiful island. In 2008, we went back to the Netherlands. I was starting my professional career in Holland. And in 2018, after a small holiday on this island, I saw the job opening at DINOF Group. Yeah, because of the innovative products, I instantly said to Wendy, "Shall I put my interest in this company?" Yeah, and after a couple of weeks later, Hans, of the CEO of DINOF, asked me to join the company. Because yeah, it was a really big step, because yeah, you had your whole life set up in the Netherlands, but it was Wendy that asked me, "Okay, Kris, what is the worst thing that can happen?" That question hit me, and the next day I called Hans that I booked a ticket, and I'm going to fly back to Curaçao and help him on this great challenge to build DINOF more as a sustainable organization, but also implementing new products and make the islands where we are operating in more greener than they are right now. Yeah, when you write the story of your life, don't let anyone hold the pen. Just write it by yourself. Since that day in 2018 September, when I came back to Curaçao, it's been a roller coaster. We won the Gladys Grace van Dole Award. We lost against Richard of the Curaçao 311 app at the Innovation Awards. But yeah, we got newspaper headlines introducing new products. I've met worldwide suppliers of DINOF in France, Kohler SDMO, Schneider Electric in Miami. Last year, my first public speaker invitation at Chata, really exciting. Yeah, meeting a lot of inspired people on this island. Yeah, building the number one team that is my main goal. We have a great team at DINOF with 50 employees on 3 islands. The headquarters of DINOF is on Curaçao, but we also have 2 offices, one on Aruba and one in Sint Maarten. Yeah, building the number one team is, in my opinion, to hire character and train the skill, and that is what we are doing every single day at DINOF. Yeah, and I believe that 90% of the success of each individual, team, and organization is manufacturable, and yeah, that is what we are doing every single day. We learn from each other. We are learning from every project we are implementing in the market. Some of them are completely new also for us, but yeah, it is a slogan of Nike, but it is also the slogan of DINOF the last couple of years is just do it and learn and yeah, see what's happening. Yeah, in our belief, yeah, you don't build a business, you build people, and then the people are build the business together. Yeah, with that quote put in my head every single day. Yeah, we are empower the team to be an entrepreneur and to be to bring in their own ideas to make the job of every individual step by step a little bit better. And to stimulate to be proud and go the extra mile. Hans, the CEO of DINAF Group, started the company in 1999. 20 years. It's now for 20 years on the islands. He built it from his own hands. Now with 50 employees later. And that is, for me, really inspiring what you can achieve if you put your mind to something, work very hard every single day, learning, make mistakes, and want to be better every day. And we are now 20 years later, but the challenges are still the same. We want to grow. Because of the current situation, all that mindset is completely changed, of course. But we want to move. We want to move forward. And for us, the most important thing is the people, and we want to move forward with all the people who are on board right now at all the 3 companies. If you believe in yourself and you believe in your colleagues, it's all can come together. We're having a great team who wants to learn from each other. Different backgrounds, different cultures, different ages, all together in 3 offices on 3 different islands. You all know the islands are small, but they are completely different from each other with different challenges. But we want to be one group. With all the new technology, it's possible to help each other also. If you are living on different islands. These are our 5 brands. These are our 5 values. One of them is partnership. Green Phoenix already mentioned our collaboration right now with the electric car, helping them with the mobility of the face shields, and we have a lot of partnerships like that, and we wanted to start those kinds of partnership every single day, because we are living on islands. It's important to support each other and helping each other to take the next step. The Curaçao is an island who with a lot of that can be self-sufficient within a lot of ways. There's a lot of talent on the island, a lot of entrepreneurs, and if we want to join, if we are going to join forces, it's all going to be better sooner. Just like I said, my number 1 focus, building the number 1 team. Every single one of us to become self-aware, gain ownership of reality. Sharing power, sharing knowledge. We have different product groups from UPSs, generators, solar, electric cars, charging station. We do some marine power. So a lot of technical things, but it's all coming together in our slogan. It's all about power, energy, and you can learn a lot from each other. You can learn a lot from clients, partners. With a vision to remain a healthy company, to protect the people, with the ambition to do something good for the environment. Yeah, be ambitious in your objective. We are implementing solar panels since 2015 on Curaçao. Small residential, but yeah, this is the biggest one so far. More than 1,500 solar panels on the roof of the new Corandon Mangrove Beach Resort. It's a project where we're really proud of, and yeah, it's almost finished because of the lockdown. Because of the lockdown, it cost us a couple of weeks, but then we completely finished, and it is, yeah, really, I think, a brilliant project also for the island of Curaçao. Find a way, not an excuse. We launched a new brand, D-Point, last year. Make electric vehicle charging accessible as everyone and for everyone in the Caribbean. We are now pretty busy with our awareness campaign. If you are going to look at our YouTube channel, you're going to see 4 animations who are going to tell you more about electric cars, more about the green area, more about the charging stations, about D-Point. Yeah, go look and learn. Yeah, we are at the beginning of our biggest adventure. A couple of goals for DINAF, creating sustainable change, focusing on customers, decentralized production. Yeah, you can be in financial control by yourself of energy. Of course, we are in Curaçao at the moment at 35% renewable, but it is possible to be 100% sustainable energy production. And free energy, it's happening right now at the moment already. For example, if you charge your car at Esperamos during office hours or at DINAF, you can charge your car for free. Yeah, so yeah, it's already happening, and we can explore that in the next couple of months. All right, yeah, let's summarize this presentation. You gotta have a dream. Sharing knowledge is power. There are business opportunities for everybody. I see it every single day on these islands. Electric future is good for all islands. If we can make Curaçao more dependent on energy with, for example, our solar panels, we can stimulate the economy more and more. Yeah. The power of one, but the power of many working together is better. And yeah, we're already in it. The world is moving fast, but where are we going? Nobody knows. I think 2 months ago, nobody knows where we are in right now. So yeah, that's an open question for everybody. Yeah, let's get connected for everybody who's listening, and I'm hope that yeah, you learn a couple of things about me and our great company.
Awesome job, Kris. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I don't know. It's strange. It feels like I'm talking to me, only to me.
Well, I think we're all very excited about what you're saying. There are many questions, so we'll discuss those in the roundtable in a bit. But before we continue, I just want to point out to the people in the chat room right now. Luc created a dashboard with all the tech companies on the island, all the people that are doing something great, that are being innovative. And we had, I don't know exactly, but over 20 companies on there. And as I think within 30 minutes that the sign was online, some of the team members of DNAF contacted me like, hey, we also want to be on that sign. And that shows the commitment of your team. So that was for me a reason to reach out to you like, hey, Kris, I would love to have you on stage. And you also reached out to me like, hey, how can we work together? And I just want to thank you so much, because talking in what's not your native language, and indeed talking to a screen and a camera is not easy, but you did a great job. So
yes,
I'm sure
all because of stepping out your comfort zone. Just do it, and so. But no, I'm really proud of my team. It's just like you said, a team member introduced me to you. It's all about connections and helping each other. So really happy to be part of this webinar. Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. It's all part of Innovation C. That's how we like to come together. And talking about coming together, I would like to invite Riedel, Giacomo Booi, and of course Ms. Amber van Veghel to come back on stage. And there we have Harvey Peniston. Harvey, thank you very much for contacting me. That was so awesome. The way you did it, it shows your commitment to the team. I think you deserve a round of applause yourself. So. Awesome job.
Yeah.
Kris, considering, there's Giacomo.
Hey.
Considering this is not your native island, you're coming here, you're coming to work here, and you have such a diverse team with so many different cultures. How is that for you? How do you experience that?
Yeah, like a challenge, of course. I like management, and management is all about people. So and the challenge is bigger on the island because we have so many different cultures, and everybody responds to different situations. But it's pretty cool to bring all those people together and share one vision and one goal, and that's and then together living on this beautiful island, for me, it's a dream come true.
Mm-hmm.
I see a lot of other relaxed faces that came into screen. I'm gonna give Stacy the word a little bit to ask you guys some questions.
All right.
Just a real quick check in. Richard, are you okay?
Yes.
You look you look a lot more relaxed than when we began.
Yeah.
I'm better.
Good. Thank you, Andy. I wanted to start with another question for Kris, because I see it in the question box and it's receiving a lot of, I don't know, what do you call them, triangles? It's getting a lot of votes. I think a lot of people have this question. So let's just jump in and see if you can answer this one live. So the question is coming from Marie-Louise Grijmans, and she is asking, well, first she's giving you a compliment. Great question, presentation. This is a dream I have myself. And her question is, what is your vision on collaboration with Aqualectra regarding net stability? Their number one issue with going towards 100% sustainable energy is because of demand-supply mismatches. What is your opinion about this? And that was also kind of related to a question that I have myself. You know, what is the biggest challenge? And maybe this is it, maybe not. When it comes to transforming Curaçao's energy network to become more sustainable.
We are, last year I reached out to Aqualectra because I also believe that we can work together, and especially looking forward in the near future. There are a lot of opportunities for the government, but also for Aqualectra to make things better than what it is right now, and we need to see that as a challenge. We have smart people at DNAF who wants to join, who want to help. Most important thing is for me, but it's also, I think, my colleague speakers, is to look local first instead of looking outside of these islands. There's so much knowledge available. There are so many brilliant people living on this island. If we can bring those people together with, of course, the decision-making people of this island, it can be really good for everybody.
Yeah. Nice. Cool. And then I don't know if you had another question, Andy.
Well, I have many questions.
Okay.
I wrote a lot down, but I want
Can I
to
ask another one then?
You want to ask another one? Sure, go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is new for me. I mean, I am bubbling with questions, so you can lay down the rules for me as well here. But there was also one I had to Amber, as I mentioned, and I mean, again, I was super just triggered in a positive way by your presentation. We've spoken with each other now in, I think, I don't know how many platforms already, and it's always kind of about the same subject. And I really was triggered by your images of the food marketing that is taking place on Curaçao, and the things you see in the boutique. I mean, you see it also here in the supermarkets. It's not necessarily only on Curaçao, but it's also in other places in the world, obviously. But how we are getting programmed by these subtle hints on what to do and not to do. And I also had to think of a memory I had, when I was growing up, my school, I went to Albert Schweitzer School, basisschool, and in front of it was a McDonald's. And I mean, that was the most strategic place for a freaking McDonald's, because all the kids wanted to go to McDonald's all the time. And we went quite often. And then at some point, I think it was also a lack of information or awareness about this topic. Also within my family, we used to go eat out or have Burger King or Kentucky or stuff like that. And now I am absolutely grossed out by it, but that's my personal taste. I don't like it anymore. But that's also kind of how the shift happened. And to come back to my question, so I think that is more a statement in that change can absolutely happen. So that is something positive for all of us to keep in mind. But I wanted to hear from you what you think about, and this is maybe a triggering question, so I'm kind of nervous to ask it. But because we were talking about junk food and how that is programming us, and I always have to think about the Ronald McDonald House. Mm-hmm. So the Ronald McDonald House is fantastic in that it's allowing families to be with their sick children. But McDonald's, I mean, I always have to think, but McDonald's is the thing that is making people sick. So that's always, I'm super, torn by these concepts. On the one hand, I applaud the fact that the facilities are made available for people to, families to be together. But then it being, implemented and marketed and hyped up by these, big corporates. So what is your view on that?
Yeah, thank you for your question. If I understood the question correctly, you're asking what my view is on actually unsustainable, companies that promote unhealthy food, but on the other hand, do social things.
Yeah.
I think that in the ideal world, these social things, they need to continue, but it would be great if we can, I don't think if we can make it happen that either McDonald's is going to go bankrupt by not buying anymore because everyone knows what they're doing, or we can work together with McDonald's. They can hire me as a consultant and we can find out, we need to do a lot of experiments to see, okay, in this local culture on Curaçao, what is accepted by consumers? Can we make the hamburgers healthier? And can we make sure that people are still loving it? And can we do that in a way that is not impacting the financial stability of McDonald's? I don't know if it can be done, but I would love to take on that challenge, actually.
Giacomo saying, it can be done. Tell us how.
All right, let's do it.
Just very difficult answer.
If you need help, let me know.
Well,
anyone has a contact at McDonald's?
I have the next question for you, Giacomo, especially because the point that Stacy and Amber are bringing up, you also said it in your presentation, and we also discussed this with Luc and Stacy. Using the word programming triggered some ethical issues, but I see that we're being programmed constantly. It started with Thirst is Nothing, Image is Everything by 7-Up, Michael Jordan, of course, with his dunk and his Nikes. We're constantly being programmed. And you also mentioned it a lot in your presentation. Marketing and programming, how can we recognize that to change it? I mean, if Kris is doing his marketing and programming me by driving a green car, I have less issues with it than when a big gas company is doing that. But that's, of course, a personal opinion. But I would love to hear your take on that. So marketing and programming, how we can recognize that.
Well, it has to do with psychology. So in my marketing classes, or like what I learned in marketing business psychology, it's all about finding a way to. Okay, let's repeat it for Amber, maybe. Okay, so I actually connected the programming with psychology. That actually the root is very deep in our minds. So they kind of use triggers that we subconsciously fall for. And I don't want to talk like bad about marketing, because the people who do the marketing don't have the intention to do it, but they kind of got brainwashed in their study time. So they think they're doing something good. They're helping the company where they do marketing for. Either they work in the company in the marketing department, or they have an agency, and they have learned to push the profit up. So for them, it's just like, you know, they are being creative. For them, it's actually very special that they come up with this amazing ideas, beautiful graphics, you know, and then they look at the charts and they look, oh, the sales go up, so they did something good. So they don't do it on purpose directly. I think it's way bigger and way broader, this whole topic of programming. And after my marketing psychology classes, I could not walk on the street anymore. I was like, I was looking around, I saw all these advertisements. They all popped up, and I saw them, and I saw like the designs, and I saw the slogans, and I was like, oh my God, what's happening in my head? So I completely erased them out of my focus. I had like this quiet mind. So I became very spiritual, because I got triggered so on such a high level from all these advertisements that I blocked it out of my brain. And well, it helped me. But yeah, is this going in the direction of your question, Andy? Or
yes,
absolutely. I also want to share the question also a little bit with Richard and Kris, because we still have a couple of more minutes left. And there was something that was really triggering me from Richard, what he said. By taking own action, like not waiting for the government to do something, but taking own action. And I think all you four speakers, including my co-host over here, myself, Luc, Erika, Shalini, Eliane, everyone, many of the people in the chat are eager to do that, and we're ready to take action. So I would like to hear your take on that, and why that's so important for you.
Yeah, that's completely true. I call Curaçao Opportunity Island for everybody. If you're going to wait on the government, it can take a while. So, but you have the freedom, and especially if it is good for the island, to take the step completely by yourself. And I support you.
Richard?
Yes, I think sometimes we see ourselves different at less maybe than people in the government, or let's say managers of bigger companies like McDonald's or any other big company. We see like maybe the mentality of Curaçao, we think too much like they are there and we are here, and decide they have to take action, and we just follow what they say and or do what they give, use what they give us. But if we change our mindset and to believe more in what we can do. We can do anything we want. So we have to remember, all the politicians, all the people in the government, they are just people, just like us. So they feel that they have. Sometimes they're happy, sometimes they're not. So it's just like us, and we have to just do more and be less afraid to try new stuff and do new stuff. You were talking about, or I saw in the chat, someone said like McDonald's has to sell vegan burgers and so on. Of course, they have to do it, but not as a critique on you, Amber. But okay, yes. If we one simple thing, let's say if we buy a vegan burger or something somewhere, talk about it, post it, just like posting sushi and posting your cappuccino, frappuccino, macchiato, chipotle, post vegan burger. You know, that's something.
Yeah. And go and get it with your electric car in the rice field.
I want to take this to Stacy. I mean, as a co-host, you're also going to get a say because you wrote a blog for Innovation C about talking as action and also less talking and more action. And that you are, without you maybe knowing it, you are part of an inspiration of this lineup over here. So I would also love your take on how we can take more action since you've studied the materials pretty much.
Yeah, well, I mean, and that's I really loved all the presentations of today, and all the hints towards psychology and behavior, and that at the end we are all kind of drawing the conclusion that it's up to us, that we have to take the lead in what we're doing. It's the decisions that we are making. I was also reminded of maybe a bit more philosophical, and that's also something that makes it difficult sometimes. And again, a little bit triggered by or inspired by Amber's presentation when she shared the story of eating bacon and eggs for breakfast and how that has been kind of created so long ago, and nobody knows that has been created, or like not nobody, but very few people. I think we all think that is just normal or is part of our culture. That's also something that you hear a lot, like that's just what we do. And I had to think about debates on or discussions on freedom. And that's also very much linked to programming. So where does the idea of freedom, how do we make our own choices? What does freedom look like? So on the one hand, we can really talk about taking action, and that's also linked to freedom. So what are the choices that we are making? How can we kind of detangle ourselves from what society is telling us and make choices based on our own perspectives, feelings, intuition, guts. And I also really like the references to meditating and turning back to yourself and kind of becoming aware of your ego talking and not so much what people around you are telling you. Because I think when you start to go back to that intuitive feeling, for one, you get back the freedom of making your own decisions. And there is a role in programming in that it can be informational and that it can be inspiring, especially if it's good programming. So like the sustainable programming we've been talking about here. And, a lot of times we do need the nudges from outside, but I think we need to open our mindsets. And that's kind of where the idea of freedom and introspection and going back to our own choices and being more authoritative about what we think and how we see and what we feel and what feels right and what doesn't feel right, that we get more back in touch with that. So again, these topics are so interconnected to mindfulness and yeah. I don't know what more to say.
Can I add something, Stacey, to your? Because it's interesting that you mentioned the spiritual part. I have to warn a lot of people that you have to watch out that you stay grounded, because in my experience and the people I met, a lot of the people who were very highly spiritual involved, they kind of lose the connection to the three-dimensional world, like where we all live in. And it's very important to not go too far away from the important how do you call it, the steps that you have to take every year, like going to register your car, for example. It's like just a stupid example, but I had to do it today, so that's like so just not to fall out of the system and keep in the normal way of doing business as well. So I started with an NGO called No More Plastic, and well, of course, that's not the way to attack. Like, first understand what people are behind the companies that are representing the big companies, the global companies on the island. So it's not just black and white.
No, absolutely not.
If you go too much into the spiritual world, you kind of lose the reality.
I hear what you're saying, and I think, and then I'm gonna give the word back to you, Andy. But I think the goal or the idea behind it is that you become aware in such a sense that indeed you can make the distinction about, you know, things that just need to happen because you're part of a society, and you know, there are certain rules or whatever, or things that you need to do, but to be aware of those choices that you're making, and that it's not necessarily a bad thing to conform to the system, because sometimes that is something that needs to be done, but you're not doing it just because everybody is telling you, or just because, you know, or just because. I think that not thinking about your own decisions, that is kind of more what I was eyeing towards. So I agree with you that sometimes you need to be wary that you don't get like super rebellious.
Exactly.
Well, I mean, you could, but then you also need to really create your own little bubble and so
what I mean is you hurt the business of big companies, and then people who lose their jobs maybe because you're trying to change something. Then the local people, they don't understand what you're doing because you're kicking them out of their work. And then, you know, it's very complex, and I don't have the answer to this, but I just wanted to just comment on spiritual.
Thank you.
The funny thing is that just today Luc sent a podcast to me, and in that I don't know if you remember the name, Stacy, but it's a word to share. And Eliana is also mentioning now spirituality can be fully grounded, and yes, it can. But the thing is, the same with the words religion, politics, and spirituality. Everyone gives it their own turn, and it can take very easily can go in the wrong way. So it's very important to meet people where they're at and take it from there. I consider myself a spiritual person in one way, but I have one of my best friends, when he talks about spirituality, he means something completely else. And even while he's my best friend, I look at him and I'm like, but that's not spirituality to me. So it's indeed, you have to be careful with certain words, but we're not here to be diplomatic. As Jo said, we're supposed to have a discussion, so I think that's very important. I did notice we have just a couple of minutes, so real quick, Eliana asked something about vegan. We're not going to have the full time to answer that anymore, but just to be clear, I want to state, because I see that often being made, there is a difference between being vegan and vegetarian, and most people that are calling themselves vegan are not vegan because they still use honey and or any other things from animals.
You know that beer is not vegan?
There
Exactly.
you go.
Why either?
Sorry.
Before we have 2 more minutes left, so I want to start acknowledging everyone before I'm going to close off. I'm going to start with the round on my screen. Doesn't have to do anything with how beautiful you look. So I'm going to start with Kris on my top left corner. When we met, I said he looks like the son of Johan Cruyff and Johan Neeskens. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for your effort in working with me with the presentation and everything. I think you shared a very good story about not just DNAF, but also yourself, why you choose to work for a company like that. And I keep doing amazing work. I hope we get to connect with you as the innovation team soon. I'm going to skip Stacy for a sec and go to Richard. Richard, awesome job with 3-in-1. Your team that was part of the chat, one of them is Joost, that I know for a long time. Thank you all for being there and partaking. Thank you so much. Please keep promoting your app. I'm ashamed to say that I haven't used it enough, but I'm definitely gonna do it, and I'm gonna be pushing other people to doing it. And I ask everyone in the chat to do that as well, because his work deserves the attention. Amber, amazing job you did, beyond what I expected from you. Your way of presenting was really transformative. It calmed me down even more. So really good job. Your information was amazing, and I know you were a little bit nervous, but none of it showed. So good job. Giacomo, my favorite krullebol.
Hey. Now I'm offended. Just kidding.
I heard some ego things.
You did amazing, and I'm so glad we met. I'm so glad at what you're doing with Sabina at Green Phoenix. Keep continuing doing your amazing job, and I love that you and Dinaf are working together. I hope you and Richard can also work together and create something in the app with that, because I believe that that's very important. There are more companies on the island that are doing something there, and I think we all need to work better together. And working better together, my co-host for today, my second favorite krullebol.
I was kidding.
Thank you so much for being such an awesome team member, and I hope to do a lot more together. I'm running out of time, so to all the participants, thank you all so much for being part of this, and keep doing that. Please connect with us on Facebook, on LinkedIn, and on our website, www.innovationcure.com. If you want to write a blog post for us, please send us an email, contact us on any of our socials. And if you have any information that you want to share with us, please do so. Contact any of us on LinkedIn. I'm going to end the webinar because we're over our time. But from the bottom of my own spiritual heart, thank you, namaste, and talk to you in 2 weeks when we're going to have our next conference with Dan sitting in this chair, or Dan in Holland, our own Luke Weber.
Yes.
Peace out.
See you. Thanks so much, guys. Great job.
All right.
How do I leave? Here.